Good evening and welcome to Spotlight. My name is Seidlitz Nkhonjera to be with you this evening. They say an election without alternative policies is not a contest. It is, however, called a shouting match. Tonight, the political temperature is rising, but the real question is, where is the substance? State House has thrown down a massive gauntlet. Chief Communications Specialist Clayton Hamasaka asserts that the opposition is running on empty, that the opposition is lacking momentum, it is lacking a credible agenda, and retreating into personal attacks and grievance-based politics rather than offering Zambians a real choice. But is this a fair critique, or is it a calculated move by the ruling UPND to dictate the battlefield? The government has put its numbers on the board: 3 million tons of copper, 10 gigawatts of power, and a 5 million metric ton maize harvest. Tonight, we ask the hard question: does the opposition have a clear policy direction, or are they letting the government run unchallenged on the vision for Zambia's future? Joining me to dissect the statement by Mr. Hamasaka and is Mr. George Chomba. Mr. Chomba, good evening and welcome to Spotlight. I hope we have a great conversation tonight.
Thank you very much. It's very important that political parties, and here I don't mean the government itself, because government is directed by political parties which form the administrative structure. That is the ministers and whoever the president appoints. That is our structure in the government. So when political parties start challenging themselves, can we discuss policy matters? Then you have got a great debate.
Interesting. This battle of words was started off by President Hakainde Hichilema, director who put it up on screen. He posted something on his social media, and he when he posted this on his social media was asking about a manifesto. He was saying we are still waiting for their manifesto. That's the poster.
Yes.
That's the post that he made, which received massive reactions from the president's followers and those that oppose him and his policies. This was how this conversation started off. They are waiting, we are waiting for their manifesto. I think moments later, Socialist Party leader Dr. Fred Membe responded, and his response was that we know that you want to copy from us. But anyways, that will put that post up a little later. But then, Mr. Chomba, if we get into the real meat of this conversation, and I know we started off on a lighter note. I know these were light moments, but there are critical issues as well being raised by those that are involved. We can have Dr. Membe's, response or reaction to that. You can see there what he responds to say. They want, all right, so he says, so that they do what with our manifestos, Mwebantu? Rather show us the UPND manifesto, Mweba Sotsana. All right, so that was the response from Dr. Membe. It is a battle of words, whether it is the actual politicians responding or their social media handlers posting. But to the people that are watching, it is them that are saying what they're saying. Now, Mr. Chomba, when we look at Mr. Hamasaka's statement this evening, what is your say? Firstly, he's highlighted a number of things. And pretty much has put up what government the UPND administration has managed to do in 5 years?
First of all, let's go back to the same statement,
Sure.
where the president says we are waiting for the opposition manifestos. And then, yes, we are still waiting for their manifestos. And then Dr. Fred Membe, who is also in the race for the 13th August general election, says, so that you do what? Now, manifestos are a social contract. At least that's what my lecturer taught me. So I'm a student of political science. Manifestos, the way you draft them, it's because you want to have a social contract with the people. The president may challenge the opposition. Even the opposition can challenge the ruling party. But the ultimate aim of having a social contract is, are the people accepting what we intend to do in the next 5 years, in the next 3 years? When an opposition answers the way Dr. Membe answered and enjoys the freedom of expression, then is not trying to answer the question of has the ruling party performed? If they haven't performed, even if the ruling party would like to copy, between now and the 30th, that is 13th August, it's very difficult to implement any policy because there are no cabinet ministers. The PSAs are working on the programs that were drafted maybe 5 years ago. So it's for political parties, they should look beyond a competitive election, if it will be, and look at the Zambians. What is it that the Zambians want? That is the most important questions. So, when Mr. Masaka talks about this is our production in electricity, at least there should be somebody who should say, oh, you are producing so many megawatts, or you have produced, or the forecast in terms of maize is about 5 million metric tons. Somebody in the opposition should say something about it. For example, if government is telling me that last year there was a bumper harvest of 3 million, or almost 4 million, and this year almost 5 million is because it's 4.9 million. The question from the writing point is to ask, who is going to talk about reduced price of mealie meal? Because it's our staple food. That way we would be having a discussion between the people who are implementing the good policy of bumper harvest and what I'll be thinking in terms of the my story angle. I would go to a woman maybe in Kanyama or Garden and ask, we are expecting mealie meal, or we are expecting a bumper harvest of 5 million. I know the figures won't make sense, but if somebody has got a bumper harvest, what are you expecting in terms of the price of mealie meal so that you can afford and live? So that's where the debate should be.
When you look at what has been started, pretty much, I want to also look at it as a way of government encouraging debate on these issues and say, let's all come to the table and let's say what we are going to do for the people. This is what we are planning to do for the people in 10 years of our time, and what is your plan. So pretty much they've opened the door. Now let's look at exactly what the government, the UPND administration is saying they're going to do within the 10 years if they're re-elected into office. So on the agriculture side, they are targeting 10 metric tons of maize production per year, and 3 metric tons of soya per year, 1 metric tons of wheat per year. That is in the agriculture sector. They're targeting 3 million, metric tons of copper per year, 10 gigawatts of power generation capacity, 5 million tourists arrivals annually, and also $1 billion investment, or rather exports in beef. Now, this is what Mr. Hamasaka is arguing, and he's arguing that while the UPND is anchoring its campaign on microeconomic milestones like debt restructuring and these specific production targets, the opposition's response has been largely reactive.
Yes, there are certain policies of the UPND which they have implemented over the years, and they are quite challenging in terms of having a roundtable discussion over. And I hope when the media invites the Republican president as a party president of the UPND and other presidential candidates, at that time they would have drafted tangible responses instead of being reactive in terms of, you are targeting 1 million. What next? And all those things. But even the UPND itself, as they are targeting all those things, they should be a rider to almost all the targets. If you are going to have 3 million of metric tons of copper, what do you intend to do to add value to that copper so that local youths, those who are in the employment stage, can benefit in terms of employment and all the other things? I think in terms of production levels, copper, there is investment, major investors have come, and they are doing their mining and all those things. So it's the twist in terms of as we go in the next 5 years, if the UPND have to talk about the mining sector, it shouldn't just end at the target. It should end at these are the benefits, indirect benefits of what is going to happen. Then you'll be selling the policy. But for the opposition, again, it becomes a little bit of a challenge in terms of if you don't have alternatives in terms of policy direction, it comes something else. That's why the opposition at this particular moment, it's very difficult to touch on most of them in terms of what is it because of the alliances. And I've been searching, that is on the internet, asking people. I know I've received manifestos for 2 political parties. I've received one, is it Me political party sweep. Yes, and I've also received for the Citizens First political parties.
There's also the Tonse Alliance.
That's where I'll tell you the difficulty in terms of looking at the Tonse Alliance. Yesterday, I was at a meeting at the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and all the officials who stood up were calling, I am from Tonse. And the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Zambia asked, but if you are going to tell me you are from the Tonse, which political party are you talking about? I will explain why I'm saying this. Yep. When you are analyzing manifestos, you need to get the political party, the vehicle, which the Tonse Alliance members are using, whether it aligns with the constitution of that political party and also aligns with the manifesto, because you can't just submit a document and say we have formed this political party in the absence of a manifesto. What is it that you want to do if you are given power? So the Tonse Alliance members, whether it's Pamozi, Tonse and all those things, and I'm just being a friend in terms of a person who likes reading, even if I hated reading when I was young, is don't you introduce yourself as Tonse, because Tonse won't be on the ballot paper. introduce yourself as a political party and then say, George, come and get this manifesto and read it, because this is what we intend to do to Zambians. That's why I'm talking about a social contract. That's what is going to interest people, because they are also going to say, oh, we have heard about Tonse, but these people are being represented by this political party. And this political party stands for these items. And this is how we are going to vote for them when we are in the polling station and we go to the booth. Otherwise, the dangers are that the current scenario may confuse a lot of voters. Because there are some people who be saying, I'll go and look for PF on the ballot paper, and then you don't find it. So that's why we need to align the opposition, which has formed so many alliances. When you are looking at the UPND, they are a little bit distinct, because everybody talks about UPND alliance partners. So they don't go there and say alliance as a grouping. I'm not trying to tell them what to do, but that is my opinion in terms of proper analysis of their manifestos. If I stand here and start talking about this is a Tonse manifesto, some people may say, but which Tonse, which is not on the ballot paper? But as we discuss, we can still get the brains out of why this thing is happening.
I'll try to play devil's advocate on this show. The opposition would argue that the cost of living is high.
Yes,
and that it makes these macroeconomic numbers, these 10 millions, these 3 million metric tons of copper, projections abstract, to the ordinary Zambian citizen. Is it fair for State House to accuse the opposition of playing grievance politics when people on the ground are genuinely going through some struggle? They are suffering. Is it fair, to say that the opposition is playing grievance politics when there are actual grievances that some Zambians are genuinely, having with the current administration?
Well, when you are playing party politics, you are going to accuse each other of grievance politics and all the other things. But it would be wrong for the UPND to go to the people and say, look here, the opposition are playing grievance politics. Because it's the people you are targeting. If you look at the political party setup, most of them, they don't meet 1 million voters. The voters are an extension of ordinary Zambians. Some of them don't vote, others vote. Here we are looking at the population of Zambia at the moment is estimated about 20 million. The voters are 8.7 million. So if you look at the 14 candidates who are standing, you divide, you are going to say, if all politicians were the same, we are looking about 600,000 each of the political parties. But it's the manifesto, the social contract, which differentiates and how you are going to speak to the people. So while Mr. Amasaka may accuse the opposition of playing grievous politics, what communication outside the mandate of all these political parties, that is the neutral voice, those who make decisions based on the cost of living. Can I afford to feed my family? Can I afford to take my children to school? There are people who genuinely would like to take their children to a government school, but maybe they will remember that at the time they started taking their children to a private school, things were not okay in the government. And I don't know about now because I haven't been to a government school in a long time. So political parties, whether you are in the opposition or in the ruling party, as we go towards the 13th August, you need to give hope to the people and say, this is what we are going to do. Because you can't just be crying over what is wrong, but you need to tell people what is right, so that a person can be motivated to go and cast their ballot.
Mr. Chomba, the UPND administration has, has brought up some social interventions.
Yes.
When you look at what they have done in the economy, and as a Zambian voter, and as I analyze, these various political party manifestos, I would love to hear them speak to these things and how differently they are going to, intervene in this, social economics of my well-being. So the government has expanded the Constituency Development Fund, the CDF, from 1.6 million to now 40 million. They brought back meal allowances. They've expanded bursaries, rolled out cash for work programs. If the opposition wants to form government, they're going to have to explicitly, tell the Zambian people, are they going to keep the free education? Or what is going to be the alternative? Are they going to reform CDF, or are they going to scrap it?
Well, that is the biggest maybe challenge. The free education now, the law pertaining to citizens of Zambian children, those who are looking at the law, they should look at it, because the amendment, the major amendment in the Education Act was actually giving a child who is a citizen of Zambia the right to free education. Previously, the same section 15 was about a child. So regardless of the children in Zambia, whether they were from foreigners, refugees, and all those things, they were enjoying education. So there will be these reforms. So if we put it up as a discussion point, obviously what would happen is that as long as the ruling party at this particular moment can reach out to the public, to the parents who take their children to school, and educate them about the importance of education, which was actually the most sought out in the Sustainable Development Goals launched in 2015. I was privileged to be at the United Nations. Those are the things that can trigger debate. If you are looking at CDF, I grew up at a time when the MMD were introducing CDF, and it was just a small component. And most of the things which were advocated at that time were clubs, chicken rearing, and all those things. Those are the things that even as the UPND takes and increases the amounts, what is the component which is going to help the people who would like to form clubs, chicken rearing, and the other clubs? I know the UPND have talked about sponsoring of people doing crafts, even artisanal people who are in small scale mining and all those things. Some of the people have been trained. So those are the things that they have been talking about as UPND. But the opposition also needs, I'll refer to Plan B, in terms of are they going to improve on how the implementation has been done, or totally they are going to say, we don't want free education, let's go back the way we used to be. CDF has been increased. Let's go back to the old system where money stayed in Lusaka. If it's social cash transfer, again, the opposition need to have a plan B. But all in all, there is no program which would stay for more than 5 years and you just sustain the same kind of system. There should be certain incentives that you are introducing to some of the things that are being done. For example, again, CDF, the UPND cannot claim to be the ones who have introduced it, but they have just bettered the disbursement of allocation of funds, moving the money from Lusaka to. That is one strategy that you can do. So for the opposition, what is it that they intend to do with the programs which are still around and being implemented by government. If you're going to have a bumper harvest, the common person there is looking at reduced price of milling. What is it? I can tell you, there was a time, I don't know if I remember correctly, in the Rupiah government, we went to China. If it's not Rupiah, it could be early years of the PF. We went to China and got more than 3,000 hammer mills, solar hammer mills. Those hammer mills have never worked. With the bumper harvest, if you want to reduce the price of milling mill, those could have worked. They were under the Zambia Cooperative Federation. Only a few, which are being operated by the, if I'm not mistaken, some of them operated by the National Service, Zambia National, Service. What has happened to the others? Because that could have worked well in terms of reduction of milling mill. So what I'm talking about is improving on what your friends have done. Otherwise, if you are going to discard all the programs, then you discard CDF, you discard social cash transfer. Immediately you are elected into office, you say, let's go back. Free education, let's scrap it. But those are the discussion points that I think people would like to listen to.
And when you look at this conversation from the communication standpoint, Mr. Chomba, silence or ambiguity on this particular position that the government then puts up, especially on these social safety nets, it allows the ruling party to control the narrative, and that the opposition represents uncertainty and that they represent continuity. There has to be reaction and there has to be plan, especially that, we offer these platforms for the voter to make an informed decision. The informed decision cannot be made when there's a lack of information, and that information is that what we are demanding. What is it that you're going to do for the Zambian people? And other than calling each other names and, what is it exactly that the ruling party is saying is going to continue to do? What is it that the opposition, is going to do? These are things that keep the voter informed. And these are questions that, the Zambian person seated out there is asking. And the longer it takes before they get to the ballot, the more their mind is going to tilt a certain way.
I think I'm not an opposition political party, but I interact. That's why I'm able to talk about what comes out in the media. It's very easy to criticize the policies of the UPND because they've got the document there. If it's not working, you can simply say it's not working because of ABCD. I'll tell you, the 10-point plan of the UPND, what is it that they talked about? For example, they talked about increasing access to electricity, which they have put there. Now, if it is not working and there are some areas where people believe it's not working, you come to a round table and look at, is solar the solution to our energy problems, or maybe there's something else that we are able to do? It's not being copycats. If you never drafted the program and how to implement a certain policy, it's very difficult to copy and paste and actually implement it. But the whole idea is for both the opposition and the ruling party. If the challenge is coming from State House, I would like to hear opposition political parties simply say, Mr. President, your communication specialist is asking for alternatives. And as a leader of the opposition, I'm challenging you to a debate. I will challenge you to all these programs that you have implemented because we can do it better. That's the only way.
Let's get into our inbox and hear what and see what viewer is saying this evening. So we get to understand what your take is on this, conversation. But also, our phone line is open. We'd love to hear from you and what you think on this, and what messages do you feel are being shared by various opposition political parties, and they, are sitting well with you. Do you think they can do better in terms of communication? Opposition leaders want Nkwazi house and presidential salary, which HH has rejected. State House will remain empty up to 2062. Goodness me. Sir Chomba, where is Given Lubinda? Please, Kayombo in Lukulu. All right.
Well, is right to ask. Mr. Lubinda is a politician and the official campaign period has started. We need to start seeing people.
All right. This particular message now says, to be honest, none of the opposition parties currently present a clear agenda or vision for Zambia. Their primary focus appears to be removing President Hakainde Hichilema from office rather than offering sustainable solutions. In my view, little would change positively even if an opposition party were to win the election, though I believe that it is unlikely. President Hichilema has the country's best interests at heart, even though some expect immediate results. The foundation he is laying will, in time, be recognized, and I believe history will regard him as one of Zambia's best presidents after he leaves office. Yami Ipako Chinyemba Lemba Omashikulu from Luangwa. I was thinking that was the name. From Luangwa, Fera, and Mitete district. All right, thank you very much for that message. All right, so that is the final message that we have received as of now. The phone line is open. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the topic that we are discussing. Please do call in and let us know what your thought is. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
All right, what is your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Chomba. I'm Samjai.
All right, thank you very much for your call. Please go ahead.
I'm just responding from the topic that does the opposition have a policy or whatever direction. My opinion is that they do not have.
Why do you say so?
Saying they do not have a clear policy direction is that every time they are given an opportunity to address the public, they don't share what they are going to do for the country. But instead, is HH failed this, HH we are removing for this and that. Especially our Tonse Alliance. They were once in government and they failed. So this time around, we were supposed to hear them saying, no, we failed this, and that because of ABCD. We are sorry, when we come into power, you give us a chance. We are going to do this, iron out what we failed to do. But it's just HH this, now HH has failed. So they don't have a clear policy. There's no direction. Their interest is just to remove HH from what? From the power. Then when they remove him, how is that going to benefit us? Right. So they don't have, in short, and it's disappointing for them, especially Batonse. At least maybe Ababena but also in Karaboso, they have nothing to tell us. It's HHS. At least we would love to hear what they are going to promise us. What are they going to do? Where HH has failed this, then what are they going to bring? What ideas are they bringing? So at least we can be safe to say when we vote for these people, we are going to have this, and that. No, but Tapari, it's just that HH we are removing. Now, when they remove him, how does the removing of HH from State House help benefit the Zambian people?
All right, thank you.
In short, I'm saying now, Tapari, if possible, so that we continue with the same government.
All right, thank you for your submission, Madam Siamjai from Chomba. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, arrival. Good evening, Mr. Moderator there.
Good evening, thank you, sir. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
God bless you. You receive 95% the people of Ruapla. Spokesperson Kapambo, I'm calling from here, the capital city of Lusaka, Matero.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Country, Umi Kalile, today, Kaliramu Chomba, ba opposition, Tabakwete po, Napa Kulandra manifesto yavo. Today, take wa, issue ya dictator type. So Muneniba Chomba. Manifesto ya kwa Chiluva, iyo abantu bavotere pamulando kwa Chiluva ilwala ile. Ndeketekera mwala kuti mwailondolola iya kwa Chiluva dala ili abena Zambia eti alachitika mu country hapa. Lelo eti aishire moneke tisabu kialisa moneka within almost 3 months.
Alright.
Lekeni ndepo kumiwa kwa Chomba mune. 1. Free education. Ukuleta free education mu country. Teki obaleta filianga. Free education iyo aletere bakaunda. Number 1. Kushta create ama company. Government ile ikwatire NPA ya shiko. So that batontere kutira iyo renko, mansa batteries, pati tona ikwata government. Eno no mbabala ibatule ya fuwa kwa Zambia through taxpayers money vila vika. So shakula fuma mkofa direct tule ya for free education. Ija free education mulila nda. Mutsunga mweba sambilila mule sita convince free chintu cha mahala. Ija institution ni igongwane itungululwa nempia sha taxpayers money for the Zambian people. How come wana chita free education? That's why na poverty eto iveleleko. If you're training out even employment, you can't go and employ the people when you don't have the resources. Who starts create, who can have name peer. Ngamuliba umesana Chomba. We can go subsidy. Muleta free education. Ababa president, bareta poverty. Country tamuava, even in secretion, there is no money. If there is no money in secretion, manjaba business ya bantu station improvement. And then mulesta increase, ukusta employ abantu. Pamitwe abali abenyaba kwete poverty mu country. Iko kile ni ukutia. Imwena waka inde mulima amacha. Bali abaleisa mule welela. Bali kwa experience. Iyo bali abantu balimo. Abantu balestisha. Ima business tuwalenda. Balesta benefit. Baka inde tubara ili manifesto yabo. Ubunganjite kwa chale. The driver ni to Ushembala ile 14 hours. Nganaso inga 10 hours by 14 hours dole international tiwama. Ushema nfesi kwa abantu babepi abantu. So that mukato ile movie. Imo Chomba ishita enuna ifike yaku. Yanangu mbonje dictator peni lati ya opposition. Mukantiri twika leke tuwale ikala. Mwalete dictator mukantiri ukulaka kavantu waba mahala imo. Nimala problem. Thank you very much, my friend.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Batshan kwa.
Mkwa Batshan.
Awe fotrishe wino.
Alright, tulanda na banani shinaka yule tumina kwisa.
Ne fova Batsanga.
Batsanga mune tumina kwisa. Bweshan kwa volume ku TV.
Blacktown.
Alright. Please, when you call in, remember to turn down the volume from your TV. Mkwa mulishan kanabesa. Wabwali atu atasha sana. Please go ahead.
Awe inepa wandi fene fintumbwene fene awe bari ukente turekana ako ka free education yako kariki ya wina nomba problem ilipo awa dictator ya ifurisha andukura kindefunde kira gushiko kulicha gazari awe abayo uyu mwake simfukwe from Manslaughter from madam mtona kuri Manslaughter bayipeye simfukwe bya bahobikana papa bero and bari abandi banagatinda barya abayitepo muntu bera bare bakanya ukubafumya kwa beo dictator you can do kwa grafuti chance na issue pamwe bantu bakoresa abona baye batushefye kwa grafuti bagezi aba abo ntiwafye ntiwafye bantu ukurala fe ukubuka filutero ati aho tukinje tweto akinje fudu wepe so You know, it's that. That will dictator. Dictator will make a prison. How man do it? Kitu mkwai.
Tuatasha babwale. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Mulibwanji.
Bwino mulibwanji.
Hello. Mulibwanji.
Bwino mulibwanji.
Bwino tumira kuchipata kuno.
Okay. Kamba na mandani.
Nkamba na Mrs. Mwanza.
Mrs. Mwanza zikomo kwa mbili. Please go ahead.
Hey, tuliko na dandaulo chabe makamaka munga kuli wa opposition. Wa opposition stimbera maningi manifesto yawo. Ise timbera chabe hakainde kwa chaso hakainde akangiwa chaso. So muntu ujamina akangiwa bete beva tuze vindu nuna zabwela wakatichitire. So that zisunga kuti abantu bakabwela bazabo chita vintu vaso maybe zambo tigwira mutima. Rather than tau yonse chabe tingomvera chabe akainde iso kangiwa kwa akainde naise tiona teka vamina akangiwa. But beva tuze vamina wazabwela uchita.
All right.
Makamaka abatonse chifukwa beze kudala mu government bonse abenze nduna zaboma. So wafunika manje batuze vamene vanakangiwa beve vija vamene babololeta vanyowana. So vanakangiwa kudala manje batuze vanyowana vamene babololeta. Akainde kukangiwa kwake taona kudala nice. So beve sanga tuza vamene hivyo so tunaona munga kuti zona opposition mu Zambia kulibe kifika walibe direction. Walibe voka amba walibe voza abantu.
Zikomo Mrs. Mwanza from Chipata. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, thank you. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. This is Mr. Simon calling from Solwezi.
Please go ahead, sir.
The problem that we have with the current opposition, quite okay, UPND has brought free education, but they must give us an alternative why free education is bad. It is not just about talking to say no, free education, it is not working. Yes, how best is it going to work during their time, if at all they are going to be given an opportunity? So those are the things that we would want to hear from them. And in addition, also, HH has increased, your UPND has increased, CDF. So they're also supposed to provide an alternative to say, okay, CDF, it is bad because of ABCD. Not the issue of where they are just talking about an individual to say, no, we have to remove HH from power. Yes, quite okay, we accept. Now, if he's removed from power and we give the country to someone who has no direction, how do you expect this country will be run? Or you give it to someone who has no idea? Obviously, we shall get back to the same thing, the same panga, the same cadalism, because someone took over without any plan. So we need, quite okay, we are not saying we have to run a government without opposition. Opposition, they have to provide checks and balances. Checks and balances simply means it is a waiting government. They have to give a clear manifesto. For example, like our colleagues, so-called Alliance. I know the president for the Alliance, Brian Mundubire. Quite okay, just moving from one party to another party. Even this time, we are even lost. We don't know which manifesto he's using. Whether he's using for FDD or he's using for the new party, because he's not going to enter into government as an alliance, but he has to enter into government with a certain manifesto. So those are some of the challenges that we are facing with the opposition. If even us as voters who are going to vote on that particular day, we need to vote for someone who has a clear manifesto. There is no way I can just vote for someone because they have said we have to remove this person. No. Those days have gone. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution from Solwezi. I will pick one more call, Mr. Chomba. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, Mr. Moderator?
Very fine. Thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine. My name is Seidlitz from Chitulika, Zambia.
Thank you very much for your call from Chitulika. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, Chomba, once again.
Good evening.
Thank you. Indeed, these opposition are kuwaya they have got no clear policy. Number one, what they know is nga mwatuvotera tukesa mkubafunira oto ewo mwakaka ewo twakaka people were stealing your monies buying ama helicopters surely umuntu akamba kuti mukativotera ndio muchosauza muntu. Do you know the danger of retaining these people? Corruption, these problems we are passing through is due to these people who are convicted because of heavy stealing. They were stealing like, I don't know. These problems we are passing through is due to them. And here are the opposition who are saying, Ngamwatu voted about it. So I'm a Zambian. So are these the leaders? You want to bring them back? The other issue here is, Ngamwatu voted tukesa mkufumi yako ama feeding programs, tukesa mkufumi yako social cash transfer. So I'm urging, ama elders, Nkalamba, bantu Garamkan, even mkaenda kama votera abantu wazaindo tutako social cash transfer. Even CCP, when we assumed power as new Dawn government, we found that Mapax somewhere given 2 bags, 3 bags. Now this time under this current regime, they have increased to 8 bags. That's why we are seeing that we are recording unprecedented bumper harvest concurrently. So sure, if the government wants to replace Mazambians, Garamukani, if you are going to make a mistake, bring back the Namunduri, these are the people who are once in power. So today they want to cheat you to say, President Paul, I'm telling you, if you are going to do that, it will be at your own peril. May God bless you. May God bless the nation. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that contribution from Chitulika, Zambia. Mr. Chomba, your brief comments before we read some more messages.
I think the messages are clear. Some of the viewers are talking about, yes, let's have debate in terms of what policy alternatives, what are the policies at the moment, and what is it that those who are aspiring can bring on board. I have said it very clearly. The political parties are formed, or they are formed or created because you want to enter government. And when you enter government, your social contract is all about uplifting the standard of the voters, the Zambians. Now, if you don't have a clear direction of what you want to do, then it becomes a problem. Even when a political party, for example, a ruling party, is implementing a manifesto or a policy which is not benefiting the people, then it's a problem. But if we are going to have debate centered around life improvement, then whether it's in education, whether it's in entertainment, wherever it's supposed to be, then that's the essence of social contract. But I would just like to speak to some people who call, and then, for example, they will talk about the Public Gathering Act, which hasn't been assented to by the president. And then they will talk about it as if they are knowledgeable. The only thing we can do is let's share ideas. You ask, has this law been implemented? If it hasn't been implemented, we are going to tell you. If we need to research on it, we are going to tell you. But let's just be factual in terms of exchanging views.
All right, you're watching Spotlight on Crown Television, and we are now trying to see whether we can read more messages. We try by all means to have as many contributions as possible so that you can be a part of all conversations that we have on Crown Television. So let's have a look at the inbox once again and see what messages are displaying there so we can understand. Let Mr. Lubinda be quiet and keep his money for his family. SC, thank you, SC, for that message. Can we get to the next message? Opposition have no message. MM from Chinsali, Luangwa Feira, and Mitete District. All right, let's look at another message. Please, these guys, Mundubile and his Tonse, they're just eager for power, but at the end of it, just to feed their pocket. Chapwa. This is Derek from Kalabo. Thank you, Derek, for that message from Kalabo. The best way for the opposition is to tell the people of Zambia what they are going to do. Simple. No vision, no vote. All right. This one says, personally. All right. So this one says, personally, I think voters should also itemize what the current government has done and compare what the opposition would do. The other concern is that I'm not aware if impact assessment has been done to show how accountable the current government has been. So much money has been released, but no one has told us how it has been used. This one is coming from Hansa. Right, let's have a look at another message. All right, this one now reads, in Bemba we say, Ibuluma Tailia. What I'm trying to say is that you can say I will do this and that, but at the end of the day, nothing. HH promised hills and mountains, but few of them have been fulfilled. Patrick from Kanyama. Thank you, Patrick, from Kanyama, for that contribution. We can get one more message, maybe. Good evening, moderator. The opposition must be civil in their debate. They are full of anger, Tonse Alliance especially. We advise them to exercise civility. Leadership isn't about anger. Let them come out clear so that voters have a choice. CM Singombe. All right, thank you very much for that message. We'll pick one more call, Mr. Chomba, and then we wind up with the program tonight. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Mulishani.
Kwa kanabesa mulishani.
Atulife bwino. Ndiyomfa program ile mfika bwino.
Okay, turanda na banani bule tubina kwisa.
Edson ngandwe ku Southern Province Kalomo.
Wangande to atotela. Na imwela ndeni poka itumfwe.
Bundera ndapepa bantu barera pakwati ba opposition. Barera na manifesto yabo. Icho bufi. Ilio ba president echi barera nda manifesto yabo. Afyo barandire tatwa kwati kusaidi kunyandi. Kya muna kusa wafo fio. Barandire pabunga 50 kwacha. Varira nda pari fertilizer 250. Vaisaranda bafya maskuzi. Bantu bapiye furo bari mu burero bale kula amaskuzi bakula ama hospitals bakuba bajibese ingisha mu abanchito plani bari kwete bena bashire ingira fie no kwisa ingisha inchito maskuzi tabakulie nama mwara bakwete vision na bakwata olo apo sofa tabala funya program kana ya this year manifesto yabo nomba bala bashanya bana kweli bapumye barasumye antu bali la kane bado wapo mubwezo bashuru kurudinge na bakwata vision so abo bayupendi bali ndokwati abo tabakwete vision tete wachiteto iyo na tuikala for 4 years ukwabula malaiti.
All right.
So ba Tonse Alliance bantu abasunga ko echalo napa kwandira naba peshiba bena ko ngabaka votere ba ruling na ifoti ka votera ba opposition umuntu ali kwate chichi party o abako na yena abo bareranda baba kuruku ku pendi na ifwe na batonse bili ba Tonse Alliance All right.
Twatasha Kanabesa for that contribution, and to everyone that has managed to give us a call this evening. We are grateful to you. Mr. Chomba, it appears that this whole conversation comes down to a clash of strategies. The ruling party wants a debate on spreadsheets and targets. The opposition wants a debate on immediate realities of the Zambian voter. If you get to listen to what most of our callers and some of those that are sending us messages. But as the road to the next election narrows, voters will ultimately demand both. Pointing out the flaws of the current administration will get the opposition through the door, but only a credible and alternative blueprint will get them into office, because the voter that we have as of today is a voter that is well aware of what is going on, and we've seen so much happen in these years, especially with regards reading culture, with regards understanding of how democracy and development work. There's been so much knowledge that has been shared across, and so the people that are voting are not voters that are ignorant of who they are going to put in office, or who and whether they want to maintain somebody in office. They're going to look at what the person is saying they're going to do and whether that person can really do those things, and they're going to scrutinize and hold them to account at the end of the day.
After 13 general elections, that's why the last the parliament was called the 13th National Assembly. So 13 general elections. Then we are going to have the 14th general election, that is on August. It's very important that the politicians understand that Zambians are now not looking for slogans at rallies. What they are looking for are solutions which can uplift their living standards. So if politicians are expecting the debate will just be amongst themselves, then they will have a shock of their lives. So what Zambians would like to know is, if we vote or we vote on the 13th, that is August, what are the kind of programs that will be implemented to benefit their lives? So this should be not slogans where you are going to say, at a rally, this is what you said. It should be in black and white, or a blueprint where people can touch it and say, this is what you have put actually on the table. Why are you not implementing this? I foresee myself looking at a citizenry which is going to be so critical of what the manifesto looks like and what is put in the manifesto, such that maybe 2031, the voting pattern will be very different from what will happen in 2026 election.
You've been watching Spotlight. I've been having a conversation with Mr. George Chomba and you. So we're grateful that we managed to hold the hour down and shared ideas and thoughts on what should characterize this election. My name is Seidlitz Nkhonjera, on behalf of everybody here at Crown Television and on behalf of Mr. George Chomba. Good evening.